Hello and welcome. My name is TomTheMystik and this is a demonstration of the difference between Silvers/Gold Novas and Master Guardians in the average competitive match of CSGO. And as my title has made it painfully clear, this is absolutely nothing to do with accuracy. Now, in every video I've seen of a Master Guardian or higher playing on a Smurf account against silver ranked players, all they happen to do is sprint around the map, not paying any attention to their teammates or strategy, and they simply sprint directly into the line of enemies and go for one-hit headshots. And while that works, it gives people the impression of the only difference between those ranks is their accuracy, their ability to hit in the upper body and headshots. That isn't true. I have compiled 5 different points that I will go through and explain one at a time in this video, and not one of them have anything to do with accuracy, with getting one-hit headshots, with killing the enemy quicker than he can kill you in a straight head-to-head situation. So here are the 5 points right here. They are basic strategy and how they're executed, general game sense, crosshair placement, position and awareness. I'll explain what all those mean if you don't fully understand in a minute. But they are the difference between winning and losing in any competitive game, regardless of accuracy. If you've ever played a game and have absolutely steamrolled the other team, getting 16-5 or anything better than that, it is probably because the other team lacked in most of these 5 categories. So let's get into the first one right now. So the first point I'm making today is about strategy and its execution, and this can fall into the categories of attacking and defending. And I have compiled clips from more than one game I've played with my Smurf account against Silvers and lower Gold Novas. The thing is, there's not a major difference in the actual strategies themselves when it gets from Silver to Gold Nova to Master Guardian, but the massive difference is how quickly it's executed, as in if you're attacking, how quickly and how efficiently you're able to get through the map, get to bomb sites and clear them out, or if you're defending, how efficient you are at holding it off against attackers. So, since I want to keep this video pretty brief, I will get into the first clip. But before I do, I'd like to mention that many of these clips fall into more than one or maybe all 5 of the categories I mentioned, but I'm putting them into the category I think most suits them and has the biggest point made by them. In my first clip of the mass cache, the enemy terrorist team is attempting a mid-rush to quickly get up the map and into a site through an unusual route for an entire team to take, which can catch the enemy off guard, and if done correctly you can get a good few kills in, which is a perfectly sound strategy except for the awful execution of it done by lower Gold Novas. If you'll notice, they completely left their bomber behind. There's lack of team communication as he initially went A and then was scrambling round back to middle when he realised that is where the rest of his team went. That resulted in quick kill of the bomb carrier as he wasn't in cover, and a more or less loss for the team as they now have to go back to get the bomb. There's also a bit of lack of awareness since they didn't anticipate that we would realise nobody's rushing B, go through B and end up behind them, which results in an easy 3 kills for me, and he only gets 1 lucky snipe on me while we have 4 more players and they only have 2. If, in a better scenario, the entire team had ran together with the bomb carrier near the front and better protected, they may have been able to get an equal swap off, 2 players for 2 maybe. They could have had the bomb planted, they could have had control over the bomb site and control of the map for the rest of that round. Now I'm going to briefly go over grenades in my defense strategy, as it is a mistake that many Silvers and Gold Novas make, worrying about grenades and how they place them. Seeing countless people die from sitting with a grenade in their hand at a doorway as enemy players rush through it, and they have no gun out, they can't defend themselves, and their team is instantly down 1 player. So here on my second defense clip, the defending team of Gold Novas is one of the players is rushing to B site and has a grenade in his hand. He's standing in the doorway trying to lob a smoke perfectly when he is instantly rushed and can't protect himself or his teammate. Their team is down 2 players, they've completely lost B site, and our team of Master Guardians has map control. This once again is an instant loss for their team. Now if we see that same scenario from a teammate's point of view, you can see that it didn't require great accuracy to take control of the map, it just required a good attack strategy, a good rush, laying down a good spray once you're in there, and thanks to the other team messing around with grenades, it was an easy 2 kills for 1 player, who's easily able to plant the bomb and move on and defend it from A site or middle. Here is a Dust 2 clip where the defending enemy team, the only 2 people defending A site, thought it would be a great idea for them both to rush long, despite the fact it's a pretty well-known fact that the terrorists can usually get to the long doors first. That results in a quick 2 kills, leaving A site utterly defenseless. We are able to move up very quickly and easily, able to get smokes down, get the bomb site covered, and plant the bomb, ordering an almost instant loss to the enemy team because of just 2 players. And here in my final strategy and execution clip, I am running alone to B site, only to find it completely empty of people defending it. Not only am I able to come up behind the enemy team and help gun them all down, if I had the bomb I could have planted it, confusing the enemy team and given the bomb plenty of time to go off. But also notice my accuracy in this clip is terrible, meaning I could have been a silver or gold nova and still have been able to win the round for our team. So, as a summary for this clip, I'll simply say that if your team has a strategy, you need to stick with that strategy. If you're going to rush, you need to have good team formation. If you're going to sneak, make sure that everyone in your team knows that you're going to sneak and controls or shifts onto bomb sites. And if you're going to defend, pick good spots to hide in on a bomb site. That is why counter-terrorists are always able to reach bomb sites first, so they have enough time to get into a good corner, a place to hold off rushes, and be effective in their role. So, moving on to the second category, which is game sense. And by this I mean quick thinking, making the right decision at a moment's notice, which will most definitely change the outcome of the game. Now I'm including this category because I've seen so many people get caught up in a gunfight or an enemy rush, and they simply look confused, their crosshairs flying everywhere, they're desperately finding a place to hide and hold off, and they can't do it quick enough, which results in their quick death and a win for the other team. Other players who are higher ranks, on the other hand, I've seen anticipated, listen out, and lob a well-timed grenade, or sit in a good corner, or know that you're about to die, and concentrate on killing as many enemies as possible before they do, and for a pile of cases that has won the game for them. So let's get into the first clip, again on the map Cache. Now in this clip I decide to sprint out of B to catch the enemy's rush off guard, and by doing so I'm able to pick up a clean kill because that's the last thing the enemy team was suspecting. But the other team quickly noticed I was there and I get shot down to 41 health. So, with using my game sense, I realised that if I stayed there shooting the team, I would be killed very quickly, and that's not very useful. So, as soon as I'm damaged, I retreat back to a good spot where no one quite thinks that anyone is going to be, and by doing that, I'm able to pick up another kill and survive that round with only 8 health left. In my second clip, I split off from the rest of the team who's rushing B to go to A to try and pick up some clean kills and cut off any backup players coming to rescue their team at B. While it seems like a stupid move, I assumed that once before I got there, at A site, there would be shooting and killing at B site, which would distract the players at A and make them less vigilant of rushes out of A main, which allows me to pick up a clean kill, as the guy doesn't really look where he's going as he's trying to get round the back of B. The second guy notices I'm there, so I get out back through A main, which makes him assume that I'm obviously going to B, but what I'm actually doing is going round behind him at Squeaky, so he will rush down highway and I can pick up a kill by being behind him. Of course, since I once again have terrible accuracy, I don't actually do that, but I'm still alive and our team is on B, and I was still there as backup if anything went wrong. One thing I'd like to mention in the middle of this category is if you're finding it hard to combat a team's strategy, they still might not have much game sense, which means they can't deal with surprise attacks. So, one thing you'd like to try at least once in a full match is try launch a surprise attack running right into their face with a gun out in case they're not prepared. So, here's a demonstration of what happened when I tried surprising attacking a team that didn't have much game sense. I rushed into mid with an M4 out, and one team member, as usual, was stuck holding a grenade. The other one had his pistol out at the front and didn't have enough firepower to deal with me, and the other had his bomb out at the back, and when I ran, instead of fighting back, he desperately tried to run to B, allowing me to kill him too and pick up an easy 3-man, meaning instant victory for us for the round at least. My last clip in this category is a demonstration of what I can do when I use good game sense, and then what are the consequences of having bad game sense. So, I realise I have an SMG, which is good in close quarters, so I rush into Squeaky, picking up an easy kill through there, but I then lose my game sense as I become too confident. I run out into the open. There's one guy who luckily isn't looking at me, and even though I have bad accuracy, I managed to kill him, but since I'm right out in the open in relatively long range with a submachine gun, I die and lose our team a pretty valuable player. What I should have done was run back into A site or stay in Squeaky where I'm still in close quarters and have an entry point into A covered, not resulting in my death, and making it a lot more likely for our team to win that round. So, as a summary for game sense, I'd like to mention that this is actually very important when you're on an off game. When you're not playing so well, it is important to pay attention, and the main points is to 1. Give yourself the advantage, as I did with a submachine gun and Squeaky, and know when you're beaten, know when if you continue to stay and fight you're going to die, when there's a better option of retreating, and give yourself a hiding place with a higher advantage and more likeliness of killing an enemy and surviving for longer. So let's go into the next category. So, my third point is crosshair placement, which is fairly self-explanatory. It means where you're actually looking, but it's also very important, even if it's simple, because I see so many people who don't look where they're going or don't look in the important spots. I see people rushing onto site while looking in a completely useless area, while there could be enemies on the site or an important thing to look at or an important place to hide. When they should be going onto site, they should be looking at every possible place that someone is usually hiding, checking out all the spots where you could be seen from, and when you get to site and rush onto site quickly to catch them off guard, you need to look at the spot where someone is definitely going to be sitting to secure yourself at least one kill or an effective distraction. So for my first clip, I'd like you to re-watch this clip from earlier. When you notice he's running to B site, you notice that his crosshair doesn't look on point. It doesn't look like he's actually paying attention to what he's doing. He's kind of clumsy, flying around the screen to useless places instead of looking to where he's supposed to be looking, which also would have helped his grenade throw be a lot quicker, let him get out his gun and help stop the rush that quite quickly killed him. This clip is just from the warm-up round of the match, but I think it proves a good point. There's an enemy waiting for me with an M4A1S, which would have been able to kill me in a heartbeat, but I was looking where I was going. I was also having my crosshair roughly on places where someone was hiding, and since there was someone hiding there, I was able to kill him immediately, and furthermore go more to their spawn and absolutely wreak havoc there, I think, picking up somewhere around 5 more kills. So, keeping this section rather brief, I'd just like to say that if you're losing a string of matches, simply concentrate on where you're actually looking. Make sure you are looking nowhere it is pointless to look at, and eventually your crosshair placement will become natural. You'll be able to look in the important spots without thinking about it, and it will severely improve your CSGO game. So, moving on. Now, this, in my opinion, while being the fourth, is the most important point of all, and that is position, or where your character actually is, where he's standing on a bomb site, or just generally where he is on the map. That is important, because this is the major difference between Gold Novas and Silvers and Master Guardians, why I was able to totally dominate this match. So I have quite a few clips here to show you that will hopefully completely prove my point. So here's the first clip, and if we stop it, we can see that my team has gotten right up to a bomb site, and the enemy team isn't even on it yet. They're stuck in highway. Now, if you're looking for a recommended layout of the fence for A on Cache, there should be one either back of site or in Squeaky, the blue door, should be one either catwalk or forklift, and there should be one at car. This is able to stop rushes before they go through, midway through the rush onto site, and after they've gotten onto site. Instead, the enemy team is stuck messing around in highway, not able to cut off any rushes through a main, or Squeaky for that matter, not able to defend the site, and they're also wide open with little to no cover against us once we're on site. So a layout like that will more or less award the team an instant loss. And I have a clip of what happens after we actually get onto site, where I'm able to pick up an easy kill. I do get hurt, so I go back into A main to recover from a flash, and then I come back out right onto bomb site. We have entire map control, and I'm able to move on and take out any of the rest of the enemy team who are trying to get onto bomb site, which awards our team a complete and utter victory. This next clip is the same point, except quite a bit worse. Instead of people trying to scramble onto B site in bad positions, A site, sorry, there is nobody whatsoever on A site. It is completely clear, allowing us to run right in, plant the bomb, and kill all the enemy team as we complete another bomb site control. This all happened because none of the team were actually paying attention to their teammates, where they actually were and where they weren't, which, as you can see, completely lost them the round. I like this clip here because it shows you the difference between what happens when an enemy is on a site and not in cover looking for cheap kills, and when he is in cover protecting the bomb site for his team. As you can see, the first guy is running right past the doors at A main, hoping to catch someone rushing through. He gets the instant shot through the head, and he is dead for the rest of the round. The other guy, on the other hand, is hiding at forklift. He's able to hit me a few times, forcing me to retreat and having his bomb site protected for enough time to perhaps get a few teammates back from B site and onto A site to help protect. If the first guy had been hiding at car or at the back of A site, he could have done a lot more than get instantly mown down. So on to the next clip. Now this one's a good point about position, because the two remaining players on the enemy team have the bomb planted at A, and one decides to defend by going right down highway, which is a bad idea because thanks to some nice crosshair placement, as I was mentioning earlier, I was able to easily kill him. But not only that, he was only able to protect from highway. He wasn't able to protect from car, A main, or Squeaky, and leaving his other guy, who only has a pistol, to try and fend off the bomb site for himself, which is completely pointless as he cannot kill anybody with a Glock 18. So I think that was enough examples to make a fair point. When you're defending a bomb site, you need to be able to cover as many exits as possible, but Also be able to be in good cover and survive a firefight since one is almost definitely going to happen if you have a bomb planted or you're protecting the bomb from the enemy team. Also, if you're on an off game and you find yourself being killed by enemies left, right and center, you need to pick the best, even if predictable, site to sit at, just to protect the bomb site, even if you don't drop any kills, able to hold off the enemy team for at least a couple of seconds to warn them where the enemy is. So, here's my fifth and final point, and that is awareness. By this I simply mean using your senses, using your sight to spot enemies, and more importantly, using listening to pinpoint where they are, or simply listening to what your team is saying. You'll often find that they're giving callouts or typing callouts, and you're simply not listening to them because you're too focused on chasing somebody else through a bomb site or wherever else. Here's a few clips of how you can kill enemies by playing on their lack of awareness, or how you can fail and die if you aren't paying attention yourself. So let's get into the first one. Now, something we haven't seen much in this video is me dying, simply because I was using the tactics that I've been saying earlier, but here is where I die a stupid death simply because I wasn't paying attention to a place I should have been, and I wasn't aware that somebody was right behind me. He kills me, and I am none the wiser for wherever the hell he is, so I can't give the team a call out. Because of this, our team is one man down, and the other team is quite a bit more likely to win the round. Now, if we look at the same scenario from the person who killed me's point of view, he's in a good spot where as soon as I run up he can see my head, and he doesn't need great accuracy being in Gold Nova because he has all the time he needs to line up 2 good shots to my upper body, and I'm instantly dead. In the next clip, I was so focused on doing a recon job as CT spawned, seeing people who are running up to car and Z, that I simply don't notice the obvious, that there is someone running onto A site right to my right hand side at highway, and I noticed too late. I wasn't paying attention to my team telling me that he was highway, and I instantly die without getting anything good for our team. Another clip is of an enemy who's trying to 1 versus 4 clutch a match, by which people can do pretty easily if they are able to pay attention and be aware of all the places that the enemy can be. They can attract enemies into traps, get them to run round corners each one and pick them off one by one, but this guy wasn't paying any attention. He was too focused on shooting right in front of him to listen to me coming to his right, so I was able to pick up clean kill and end the round with our victory. My final clip for this category, I may have been using an auto noob sniper rifle, but I pick up an easy 3-man because none of the other team were actually looking around them, paying attention to what they were seeing. The first guy wasn't aware that B site someone had gotten right into the middle of it, and he was wide open in CT. I pick up an easy kill. The next kill at Heaven wasn't aware that his friend had just been killed. He wasn't also listening out for my shots, so he was blankly looking into Toxic while I easily pick him off. The last guy making a lot of noise at middle or at highway, and I was able to come right up behind him. He wasn't expecting anyone to be behind him, so I get an easy headshot and move on for the rest of the team to clutch the match. So, for my final summary, this one being about awareness, you need to look everywhere in a bomb site or wherever you're going to spot anywhere an enemy can be, and you need to listen out. You need to listen for footsteps, you need to listen for gunfire, team dying, and definitely team callouts, which happen very often, and react as quickly as possible to them. So, but as an overall summary, you may want to go over every single one of these points that I've covered, maybe more than once, and take them in. So if you're on a streak of losing, you can concentrate on them during your matches, and you can make them become natural. You can pay attention to all 5 of these points without even thinking about it, and this will dramatically increase your game pretty quickly, boosting you up out of Silver, out of Gold Nova, and into Master Guardian, increasing your accuracy all the way as well, which is a given. But if you have one of the best accuracies in the game, it still won't help you if you cannot pay attention to any of these 5 points, if you have no game sense, if you can't execute a strategy, if you're not aware of what's going on around you, you will get killed more than you will get kills, I can promise you that. So, as the end, I'd like to show you an ace I've got from this same match, and I'd like you to try and point out every person I've killed, what mistakes he was making. Was he holding a grenade? Was he not looking behind him? Was he not positioned in the best possible place for the weapon he has or the situation he's in? So, after I've watched it, while you're watching this, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's very useful for you. I hope it can drastically improve your game if you're having trouble recently. So, thank you for watching, and bye!